It's time to bring you up to date on all the day's business news, and Stephen Carroll is here. Morning to you, Stephen.
Hi, Alan.
We're going to start off with the currency markets, where sterling has fallen again over concerns about this Brexit referendum.
We actually saw the pound hit the lowest level it's been against the dollar since 2009 during trading in Asia earlier. That's below the $1.40 mark. It's still hovering around there. You can see down by about 1/3% on the day. Now, sterling has been sliding since Monday when the markets reacted to the Mayor of London's announcement that he was supporting the campaign for Britain to leave the European Union. The uncertainty raised by this campaign likely to cause more volatility in sterling in the coming months, and we're seeing that effect already playing out.
Well, what's been happening on the stock markets then?
European shares opening down, but not by very much, it has to be said, at the start of trading today. The fall in oil prices causing some pain, particularly for oil companies. The Brent crude index is down by over 1%. It's fallen further from yesterday. Oil and gas shares taking the brunt of those falls. Mining firms not so hot either in London, it has to be said. You can see falls across the European markets there. In Asia, a largely similar picture. Oil prices, again, the dominant factor moving the markets, except for in Japan, where the strengthening of the yen was hurting some exporters there. Shares in the Nikkei closing down, as you can see, almost by 1% there. Just the Shanghai Composite having some small gains.
Let's move on to bad news now for those with a sweet tooth. A massive recall of chocolate bars made by Mars.
That's right, includes brands like Snickers, Milky Way and Celebrations that were sold in more than 55 countries around the world. They're being recalled because of the discovery of a small piece of plastic in a Snickers bar that was made in the Netherlands. Now, the company hasn't said how many bars are affected, but one industry expert has estimated the cost of the recall at tens of millions of euros. Mars has been praised, though, for acting quickly to limit the damage to its brand.
The company has applied all the principles of crisis management: compassion, action, transparency. Mars itself has chosen to inform the public of this crisis it's facing.
Well, here in France next, and debate is raging over changes to labour laws. The government's trying to crack down on fraud in another sector of the market.
That's right. This concerns the issue of posted workers. They're workers that are hired in one EU country to work in another one. European law allows companies to do this and to pay social insurance for that worker at the rate applied in their home country. That often means big savings compared to the rates applied here in France. There are strict conditions attached, though, and the French government believes that many companies are breaking those rules in order to pay less tax. They've taken steps to crack down on this, though, as Catherine Viette now reports.
This is the government's latest weapon in fighting against employment fraud, a professional ID card. It will be mandatory for all construction workers and include their names and that of their employers, subject to strict checks.
What's at stake here are the conditions of posted workers. To prevent abuses, for example, the issue of housing, and also the issue of unfair competition.
A posted worker is one that's hired in one EU country to work in another. There are strict rules. For example, a worker hired from Poland must earn the French minimum wage and be housed and fed by the employer. In exchange, the company pays the social charges to the worker's home country. In Poland, that's about 30% less than France. The situation can only last 6 months. Employers like the program because it costs less to hire a worker from outside France. In construction, for example, the savings can be as much as 20% per hour. There are 230,000 posted workers in France. Another 300,000 are working here unofficially. And the regulations aren't always respected. This Polish worker says he's been in France 3 years, already a violation, and works longer than 35 hours a week, another violation.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I finish at 5 p.m.
Last year, the government estimated that fraud in the posted workers sector cost it 400 million euros.
Two more pieces of companies news for you this morning. Airbus has reported an increase in sales and profits for the year, but slightly missed expectations for their results. Chief Executive Tom Enders described the figures as a solid performance. Sales rose by 6% to 64.5 billion euros, while pre-tax profit rose by 2% to 4.1 billion. And shares in the French car maker Peugeot Citroën have risen by over 5% after its latest results. Revenues at the company were up by 6% last year, and the firm says it might pay a dividend to shareholders next year. After thousands of job cuts in recent years, Peugeot is to pay a special bonus of €2,000 to its workers.
And finally, Stephen, Mastercard getting ready to allow customers to pay with a selfie.
It's being dubbed Selfie Pay. It's a new way of improving identity checks for mobile phone payments. The service is set to be introduced in 15 countries this summer after pilot schemes in the United States and in the Netherlands. The way it works is that when it comes to, instead of putting in a confirmation code, you simply take a selfie, and that's going to be matched up with a photo that you've uploaded to the company, and that way they're able to verify your identity. I'm just kind of imagining the situations you would find yourself doing that in, kind of at the, buying a cup of coffee and being like, hold on, I have to take a photo now as well.
I just imagine if you're buying it at the bar, how will it be able to check if you've got is this the right person? Oh, goodness. So, well, something to keep an eye on. Thank you very much, Stephen Carroll with the Business News.